Lesson 3 for July 13 through to 19, Sabbath, a Day of Freedom, read by Dr. Percy Harold. Tuesday, July 16, a Day of Equality. One of the things obvious from a quick reading of the Ten Commandments in Exodus chapter 20 and Deuteronomy 5 is that the fourth commandment is the most detailed by far. Whereas some of the commandments are recorded in as few as 3 words in some versions, in the Hebrew some can be expressed in only 2 words. The fourth commandment gives space to the why, how, and who of remembering the Sabbath day. Question. Read Exodus 20 verses 8 to 11 again. What does it say about the servants and strangers, even animals, and what does it mean? Exodus 20, beginning at verse 8, remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days you shall labour and do all your work, but the 7th day is the Sabbath of the Lord your God. In it you shall do no work, you, nor your son, nor your daughter, nor your male servant, nor your female servant, nor your cattle, nor your stranger who is within your gates. For in 6 days the Lord made the heavens and the earth, the sea, and all that is in them, and rested the 7th day. Therefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day, and hallowed it. Notable among these Sabbath details is the focus on others. S.K. Tonstad argues that this kind of command is unique among all the cultures of the world. The Sabbath commandment, he explains, prioritizes from the bottom up and not from the top looking down, giving first considerations to the weakest and most vulnerable members of society, those who need rest the most. The slave, the resident alien, and the beast of burden are singled out for special mention. In the rest of the 7th day, the underprivileged, even mute animals, find an ally. That's from The Lost Meaning of the 7th Day, published by Andrews University Press in 2009, pages 126 and 127. The commandment has a special focus on urging that the Sabbath is a day to be enjoyed by everyone. In the light of the Sabbath, we are all equal. If you are an employer during the week, you have no authority to make your employees work on Sabbath, and that's because God gave them, too, a day of rest. If you are an employee, or even a slave, for the rest of your days, the Sabbath reminds you that you are equally created and redeemed by God, and God invites you to celebrate in ways other than your usual duties. Even those outside the Sabbath-keeping people, any foreigner residing in your towns, it says in verse 10, should benefit from the Sabbath. This idea would have been a remarkable change of perspective for the Israelites, fresh from their own experiences of slavery and marginalization. Now that they were to be established in a new land, God did not want them to adopt the habits of their former oppressors. As well as giving them detailed laws for their society, he gave them, all of us actually, a weekly reminder, in a powerful way, of just how equal we all are before God. So to finish the day, how can you share the Sabbath in your community? Meaning, how can others in your community benefit from your Sabbath keeping? You have been listening to a reading of the Adult Sabbath School Bible Study Guide by Dr. Percy Harold from Queensland, Australia. This service is brought to you by Hope Channel, the Sabbath School Department, and Christian Services for the Blind. Remember, God is always faithful.